What's going on, guys? So, a big topic that I wanted to hit on today, especially this is for the youth, is the skill of saving. I know a lot of people, when you hear skills, you think physical skills, like playing basketball, like plumbing, like being able to run fast or run a long distance. Those are skills, yes, that we can improve on. But I feel like a lot of people, especially older adults, don't talk about is the skill of saving and the skill of investing. Like I said, for the past year or 2 years, I've been focusing a lot on finance. For one, that's my major, and that is the career path I want to get into. But for two, I've noticed that a lot of people do not think about finance enough, and it's finance is so huge. It's like it is a big. It's like imagine finance as a building, but then there's so many different rooms. There's savings, there's investing, there is I don't know, finance. It's just so much to finance. It's so much to finance, but I want to be able not just give good motivational speeches about mental health and things like that, which I love to do, but also I want to be able to equip the future me and others about saving and about finance and about money just in general. I know when you hear savings, people immediately think is all about just putting money away. And it is, that's basically what it is. Saving for a rainy day. I don't know if you ever heard that quote, but saving for a rainy day is savings. You put away money now, so in case something happens in the future, you are secure and you don't have to work as hard and you're going to be financially stable in a sense. But I think a lot of us do not think like that or even save in general. It's because we're not taught these things. Unfortunately, I come from a public school system, which I can't talk too bad on public schools because obviously they're free. So I'm just thankful to have the opportunity to go to a public school. But we're not taught these things of what is savings. How to trick your mind into saving is a big thing and why it's so important. So I'll start with what is saving for those who don't know. Saving is basically the income you make minus the expense is the little bit of money you have left. Those are savings. Um, and why is it important? Man, how can I get into this? Because obviously, I think we all know saving is important, but yet we do not do it. So before I get into why saving is so important, we have to get into the psychological base. Before this, 2 3 years now, for 2 to 3 years now, I finally started saving. I Guys, I couldn't save a penny, like not even a penny. I would put money away for the future, and then I'll be like, nah, I just went back in there and started taking money out. But it's all a psychological thing, and I know there's a lot of people watching this video that's like, yo, that's me, and I understand. Um, but what I truly recommend is for you to think about the future. I know it's hard, especially when you're in your 20s and your early teens. You're just like, man, I'm not worried about tomorrow. Like, I'm worried about living my life now, and then once I get old, I worry about tomorrow. But by that time, it's too late, unfortunately. So you have to tell yourself, you have to be honest with yourself. Am I good at saving? And if you're not, why is that? I mean, it could be because you just never had enough growing up. So now that you have money, you feel like you have to spend it because you might never have it again. And that's a psychological thing. That's called generational trauma. And that's something that I had to over that's something I had to beat and just understand that it's okay to feel like that at times. But savings actually help with that because if you didn't have a lot back then, now that you save in case an emergency happens, in case something like that happens again, or you don't have money or you can't work, it's like boom, I still have money. Um, I really recommend everybody read a book called Psychology of Money. So Psychology of Money is a book that was written speaking of the psychological base of saving of money and why it's so important before you touch money to understand money, before you gain money to understand money. A lot of us spend our money without thinking because we live in this consumer based mindset. So consumer based mindset is basically a mindset where you just want to buy and consume things. That's basically the definition. You just want to consume things rather than a investor or a saving mindset. Oh, excuse me, y'all. The firefighters, they save a lot, so I can't be mad. But we have to change our mindset from a consumer mindset to more of an investor slash savers mindset, where we want our money to work for us, not we work for our money only. Because if your money could work for you while you sleep, imagine how much money you can make. While you're up, you're making money, but while you're asleep, your money's making money. So just think about it as like little minions. But basically, the psychology of money, that book kind of hits on that, and I really recommend you read it. But it hits on the reason you can't save is because it's a psychological thing that you have to evaluate yourself. You have to know where it comes from. But you will never truly accomplish that if you don't be honest with yourself, for one, and try to understand why I'm not saving. So, I mean, I wrote a little card real quick because sometimes I forget points while I'm talking. Um, but now I want to talk about why saving is important. So, obviously, I talked about having money for a rainy day. You're working out, everything's going well. You put money aside. You obviously use your money for pay rent or family, traveling, whatever it is. But you always have money on the side you put on. Um, and then God forbid you don't work. Then what? That money that you did save up for them years or months or days, whatever it is, whatever you could do, you could reach in there, reach in that piggy bank, reach in that bank account, and take it just in case you have to pay for medicine, you have to pay for food, for family, whatever it is, until you get back on your feet. So that's number one. Number two, you can't invest if you can't save. For the past year, I've been investing about 45 to almost 50% of my money into the stock market. I'm gonna make a video on that, but I've been investing most of my money. This year alone, I made about $5,000 from not doing nothing, just putting my money in the stock market. Obviously, there's more to that. You have to know which stocks to pick. You have to leave it there because the stock market go ups and down, but you have to be psychologically ready in order to do that. And then number three, I know you want to buy a house. I know you want to buy a car. I know you want all these things. We can't continue to finance things and we can't save because eventually we won't be able to pay down those loans. We won't be able to pay people back, and then people won't lend us money. And if you owe the bank money, I'm telling you now, if you owe the bank money, they're coming for you. The government don't play about their money, and it ruins your credit score. So savings just does so much for you. But like I said, you have to be able to psychologically prepare yourself and be ready to say, okay, let me take out 10% of my money every time I get paid, or $10, $20, whatever you could do, guys. I don't think everybody has to do 45 to 50% of their money. Just because I have the ability to do that now, don't mean I'm always gonna have the ability to do that. And if just because you could only save $10 now doesn't mean that you're gonna do that forever. Maybe you start with 10 today, but maybe in a few months you could do 20, and in a few years you could do 50, and in a few years you could do 100 every month. So guys, you have to learn how to save. It's so important learning how to save. And this is a skill that is just not hit enough. And I don't know why people don't talk about it enough. Matter of fact, I don't know why the school system don't talk about it enough. They kind of like brush upon it, like, oh yeah, learn how to save, and boom. But how are we supposed to learn if you're not teaching us? Aren't we in school to learn these things? But that's besides the point. The school system needs a little help, but let's be gracious. It's free for most of us. Um, But now I want to talk about things to do in order how to save. If you are somebody who has a hard time with saving, like I said, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest that, yo, I'm not good at this yet, because eventually you will be good at this. But right now I'm not good at this, and it's okay. So what I recommend, what I had to do is, for one, you start off reading The Psychology of Money. This is not a paid sponsor, but the reason I'm telling you is because this has changed my life. It has changed my journey, and it's just changed the way I think about money in general. I don't think about money just as something I could use and spend. I look at it as a tool that can make more money for me. I do have that book, so if you need it, let me know. The number two point is have an accountability partner. I think a lot of us try to build these skills or just try to do things alone when you don't have to. You could ask somebody who you trust, somebody who's always by your side, and just letting them know, like, hey, I truly need help with this. You are better at me. You are better at this area than me. So maybe go find somebody who you know can help you save money. Somebody who already do this on a constant. Somebody who's already good at saving money or investing in money. Just go to them and ask for help, because I promise you, people are willing to help you if you ask. But if you don't ask, they don't know. And then the third, yeah, third thing. I sound like Drake. The third thing that I recommend you do is having your bank automate your money. This is something that I had to do in the beginning. Now they don't do it for me because I do it myself because I'm better at saving money. But there's this thing on my bank, like on my phone, this app, where every time I would get paid, they would take 10% without me looking and put it into a different account, and that was my savings account. So if you look at your money, it's gonna be harder for you to save. But if you do it automatically every month or every period, whenever it is, whenever you could do it, you won't think about it. So it'll be out of sight and out of mind. But if you continue to look at it, you're gonna be like, okay, like let me grab this, let me do this, let me do that. But man, I'm telling you, that's gonna mess you up. So if you can, call your bank or check on the apps, and you could just put the settings for saving 10%. Maybe it's 5%, maybe it's 4%. The more the merrier, guys. The more the merrier. And then the last thing I would tell you is just talking to yourself. I think you are your best friend, and you're always gonna be there for yourself. So like, once you be honest and you tell yourself, I can't save, but I must save for my kids, for myself, for my family, for maybe a house. Maybe you want a house, maybe you want a car. But if you don't ever have money, how are you gonna get these things? And I know you want these things. So in order to get these things, you must learn how to save. So please, guys, there's so many skills out there that you should learn. But truly, saving is the number one skill that you have to learn and that you must learn in order not just to be successful in any area, but in life. So I thank y'all. I love y'all, and I hope y'all comment any else, anything else. I'm so awkward with these videos, but anything else that you want me to just speak upon. I know I'm young, but I truly do have some good life lessons because I have elders who talk to me and I listen to, and I know not many people have elders, and that's okay. I hope I could be your big brother in a sense. But I love y'all guys truly, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.